Okay, so I'm just doing this vlog to get whatever is off my chest. So, talking about the positives, it seems like I had an epiphany the other day that one of the things I've been doing in the past is when I communicate with people, I don't communicate until I know that they would be interested in what I say. So I either know them personally, so I know that they would care about what the topic is, or two, they give me a body language to show that they're interested. So, and beforehand I used to think that that's how other extroverts function, that's how they interact with people, and that's how, and they just somehow were able to know, because I guess they're higher social functioning, like in most situations, that they just know, they know people well enough, they can read people well enough that they would know that they want to hear what you have to say. So, but I came to the realization that, after listening to a few people, just rambling off, how can they know that I'm interested in what they say? And to be honest, I was kind of just like, you're just blabbing. That's just dumb. Like, why? I would never do that. And so I came to the realization, people just trust that you're going to care about what they're talking about. So, that's why they blab, because they trust that someone is going to care about what they talk about. If it's a huge group of people, then hey, probably one or two people will care. So, where with me, I would just go with sturdy waters. If I knew they were going to talk to me, I would do it. But if I didn't, I wouldn't interact. So that's interesting. I'm not quite sure how to put that into practice. Like, I know I have to just, be confident in myself and just know that, hey, I have to talk to people. But, I don't know what it's going to take to get that into my mindset, because I still have low self-esteem. Another thing I realized is that I've always accepted that I've been socially awkward. Because I'm an introvert, I always thought, maybe because of the way people using their opinions about it, I maybe took them as fact. So I just kind of see myself as social awkward, and I guess it's sort of been a self-fulfilling prophecy in a lot of ways, as I've been socially awkward. So, because my mom challenged me the other day, she was like, Micah, you're not socially awkward. When people don't respond to you, it's not that it's because you're socially awkward, it's because they just don't know what to say. This relationship is like any other relationship. If they don't know what they're going to talk about, they're going to move on to something else. And so that's how, extroverted relationships go, is they talk about something and they move on to the next thing, and it's the next thing, to the next thing. So you just have to, move on with them. So, so that's been good. I'm glad that someone's just straight up, just, not slap me in the face, but, really just give me a solid reminder that, hey, what you've been thinking has not been right. So, so that's been good. So, and another thing she said is about the quiet thing. The fact that you shared something with them means that that they've made a connection with you, even though you don't see them physically giving an instant response, probably like you would have. I mean, I sort of see things the way I would perceive them. I understand that people don't perceive things the same way I do, since they don't show instant response and, oh wow, that doesn't mean that they didn't understand what you talked about, and that doesn't mean that they'll, progress and use that in the future and, make a connection. More stuff to talk about in the future, making connection. So so that's interesting. Like, I wish people were more responsive and stuff about things, but I can't. That's just me. I mean, people don't always act like I do. So so I can't expect that. So that's been an interesting breakthrough. One of the things I've been having a problem with, like I said, so there's socially awkward, and then I'm insecure about myself in a couple of ways. So I tend to see my situation, since I'm an introvert, as immaturity. So that's not true. It's a genetic makeup. I'm genetically, nature and nurture, they have their say in both of it. But, I'm genetically prone to be an introvert, so I'm an introvert. There's nothing immature about it. It's the way I am. There's no growing to maturity. I mean, yeah, I'll be more extroverted as time goes on, but I'll always have introverted qualities, like sticking in smaller social situations, and not being as extreme as extroverts. One of the things that to talk about with an introvert is that they don't have a very high level of stimulation. I mean, they have a high level of stimulation themselves, so they don't have to do crazy things to obtain a desire. So I don't have to do that type of stuff. So and so I tend to use that in most everyday situations. So I tend to feel that I'm the immature one, the child among adults, and that a lot of my sincere things I have to say are have already been worked through, and people are moving on, where I haven't. So I'm not quite sure how to take that, because that could be true, that extroverts obviously don't have the same problems introverts have, and maybe vice versa. I don't know. It depends. Extroverts can be extreme, or it's a continuum for both types of personalities. So and yeah, so different extroverts can act different ways. So that's been my problem. I have an issue with something, and I feel that I'm immature about the issue, so I feel like I need to change it somehow, but I don't know how. And then I share it with someone, and I feel like they just shoot it down and be like, "Oh, you're just immature." Psh. And I also feel like if I don't, I won't get it solved, and I'll still be immature. So yeah, so that's been interesting. Like, I think a lot of the times I get my security from others, like, they give me a pat on the back and say, "Hey, you did a good job." That boosts my confidence, my self-esteem. I mean, I feel like I'm connected with others. Like, I used to think that it was probably an issue, that's low self-esteem right there, but I think that's just a personality trait. Like, with the Christian club back at Central Washington University in Ellensburg, Chi Alpha, we took a test. There was 4 different colors. There was red, which is someone who has leadership abilities. If they are good at leading and are very direct, and I think confrontative, they'd be considered a red. If they were yellow, they would be someone who likes to have fun and has a hard time paying attention, and doing work and stuff. So that would be a yellow. There's white, which is a person who likes peace. They don't like to deal with conflict. So they would rather, have just peace, fake peace, than conflict, real conflict. So, and then there's blue. Blue is someone who likes to help others. They tend to be really supportive, but they also tend to be over-involved. So when I took a test on that, and the two colors that I got were blue and white, majority in blue. So I tend to be overly into what people say. I like serving others. I don't really like doing things just for myself. It's not as fulfilling as maybe some other color, maybe like a red or a yellow. So that's been interesting. So, like, I'm not fully insecure. Like, there's some things about me that I'm okay with, but I think I just need appreciation and understanding sometimes. And I don't feel like I get that by people, because I feel like I need to get it directly, and I can't read people a lot of the times, body languages and such. So that's been on my mind all day today. I've been kind of beating myself up. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just my mind is frustrated, so it just continues to loop it, and it, hurts me emotionally, or what. Like, right now I'm doing pretty good compared to how I was doing earlier, but I don't know. So yeah, it's just been the issue so far. Also, going to the positive note, another thing, kind of sort of a breakthrough. Originally, I thought that there was a social structure, like one-time social structure for every situation. I went to college. An extrovert told me that no, there's no structure at all. People do what they want to do. And then later on, my parents told me that yes, there's definitely structure. In conversations, you obviously listen to someone. If you don't listen to someone, you're going to screw things up, like socially, in a commitment, not a commitment, in a relationship, you're going to screw things up. So they said that it's more like there is structure, but there's multiple situations, so there's multiple structures. So that's good. I'm glad I have my mindset back where it needs to be. I just have to make sure, whenever I go into a situation, kind of sort of figure out, what am I going into? Is this a party where, conversation is really light and, you move through people fast? Is this a physical event? Is it a spiritual talk? Core group? What is it? What have you? So I just have to look at that, take that into account. So that's good. I'm glad I'm back on track. Hopefully I'll eventually get on track with the issue I have right now. I know it's issues with insecurity and feeling emotionally immature. I just have to take a leap of faith and do it. So I don't know. It'll probably take some time. I was probably just frustrated today. So that's probably just the solution to it, is just do stuff, So yeah, that's just a couple things on my mind that I thought I would share. So I don't know if this will go on YouTube, but if it does, this should be about it. I might edit it or not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So that's that's me sharing. So